Okay. Good morning. We'll go ahead and open the hearing on Senate Bill 193, and it makes an appropriation for educational programs relating to history, law, and civics. And Chair Woodhouse, good morning. Please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee. For the record, I am Joyce Woodhouse, State Senator from Senate District 5 in Clark County. The bill before you here today is Senate Bill 193 and makes a small but very important appropriation to the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement to support the We the People, the Citizen, and the Constitution program in elementary, middle, and high schools throughout Nevada. There are a number of supporters of Senate Bill 193 here today who will talk more about the program, so I am going to just give you a quick overview. According to the Center for Civic Education, We the People was developed in 1987 and adopted by the Commission on the Bicentennial of the United States Constitution, chaired by Chief Justice Warren Burger, as the principal education program of the Constitution's bicentennial. The program's success at the Bicentennial Commission led to its continuation by Congress through the U.S. Department of Education from 1993 to 2011 as an authorized program within the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. This program complemented the regular school curriculum by providing students with an innovative course of instruction on the history and principles of the U.S. Constitution Democratic Republic. Since the program's inception, more than 30 million students and 75,000 educators have participated nationwide, and many thousands of Nevada students and teachers have benefited from its valuable curriculum. National funding for this program has been reduced significantly since 2011, and in-state resources to make up that difference have also diminished. Senate Bill 193 makes a $175,000 appropriation in fiscal year 1920 and another $175,000 appropriation in 2021 to the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement for the specific purpose of supporting We the People in Nevada's elementary, middle, and high schools. The bill assures accountability by requiring the center to, upon acceptance of the funds, to prepare and transmit reports to the Interim Finance Committee and describe each expenditure made. If requested by the Legislative Commission, the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement must make any accounts, books, reports, vouchers, and other information available to the Legislative Auditor for the purposes of conducting an audit on the use of those appropriated funds. Finally, Senate Bill 193 specifies that the money appropriated shall be available in either fiscal year and may not be committed for expenditure after June 30th, 2021. Thank you for your consideration and support of Senate Bill 193. I'm pleased to have with me in Las Vegas Kathleen Dickinson, the Nevada State Coordinator for We the People, who will talk more about the program and why this bill is so important. Following her, we have students, teachers, a Supreme Court Justice, and the President of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement here to share with you why it is important that this program be funded. I thank you, and if we could go to Ms. Dickinson now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Woodhouse. Going to Las Vegas, Ms. Dickinson, please.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair. I am Kathleen Dickinson, the We the People State Coordinator. Today I'm speaking in favor of SB 193. Through our statewide coordinators, teachers, and trainings, we have reached several hundred elementary, middle, and high school teachers and thousands of Nevada students. Seville Middle School in Las Vegas just completed their 13th year of We the People hearings. This year they had 535 students. Congressional funding was available from 1987 until 2011. The Center for Civic Education curriculums are throughout the United States, territories, East Europe, Central America, South America, and East Asia. The State Bar of Nevada housed the curriculums from 2003 to present. Since the Center for Civic Education lost its funding in 2011, the State Bar has had its own budget tightening, causing the loss of Project Citizen in 2013 and the loss of the We the People elementary and middle school programs in 2015. Their support of the We the People high school program has diminished. The Nevada Center for Civic Engagement was born in 2016 with the goal of bringing all of the We the People levels back together so that the feeder schools can be supported with We the People, Project Citizen, and more. We the People thrives because when we have funding, we provide professional development for all grade levels of teachers. Our trainings allow teachers from all over the state to have a variety of pedagogy, guest scholars, judges, and exposure to civics on a real level. The funds you provide through SB193 will reverberate for years to come for quality teachers and community-minded students who will be able to perform the soft skills of reading, critical thinking, research, and awareness of the U.S. Constitution, the Nevada Constitution, and current events. Thank you, and I'm available for questions, and I turn it over to my colleagues from West Preparatory Academy.
Good morning, members of the community. My name is Ariel Anderson.
My name is Frank Perez.
And we are from West Prep. As Nevadans, it is imperative that we learn to exercise the rights provided to us within the United States Constitution. This school year, our AP Government teacher, Mr. Avril Kelly, introduced my classmates and I to We the People curriculum.
From our experience with We the People program, we were able to gain a more depth understanding of our government and the complexities of our political system, along with the functions and fluidity of the Constitution.
This program helped to shed light on the grayest areas of the government, the areas where we as students of color are often stripped of. Not only are we able to understand our inalienable rights, but through this program we were taught when and how to exercise them and the limitations to our rights as American citizens.
Often the stereotype behind this program is that it is a program for white students only. While participating in the program, I was able to witness firsthand the inclusivity of all students in Nevada and felt well represented within my district.
As students of color, we are very proud for participating in something like We the People. Our involvement in the program allowed us to break down the stereotypes of students of color being involved in the We the People program. We were able to prove that We the People is a program for all students.
If the state funds the We the People program, we believe it will help with the comfortability and will provoke reassurance within students of color,
will enlighten students' perspective, and break down whitewashing stereotypes of government participation and allow us to represent ourselves by participating.
Along with that, we believe it will help minorities become more civically engaged
and help provoke young students to become change makers in this world. Thank you.
Joyce Woodhouse, for the record, we'll go to Avery Clark here in Carson City.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Finance Committee. My name is Avery Clark. I am a 5th grade student at Jesse Hall Elementary School in Sparks, Nevada. I am here this morning to endorse Senate Bill 193. From doing town hall meetings to learning different court cases through activities such as Pro Se Court. Because of We the People, I have learned not just about our government, but how to become a knowledgeable citizen in our country. Our teacher, Mrs. Morgan, works hard to make sure that we are having fun, while still learning what we need to know. Mrs. Morgan does not want my class to have to just sit and read. She makes us talk and engage in civil discourse. When we come back from spring break, we will begin writing our testimonies for our congressional hearing, which simulate what I'm doing right now. However, only a handful of 5th graders get to experience this program. This bill would allow more students like me to learn about our government in fun, hands-on ways. Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Finance Committee, thank you for your time.
Joyce Woodhouse for the record, and we'll go to Las Vegas for Adrian Casolari,
Okay.
teacher.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Adrian Casolari from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am currently a United States government and We the People teacher. And I support SB 193 because of all the success I have witnessed come from this curriculum over my last 14 years of teaching it. I have taught and used the We the People curriculum at both Cimarron Memorial High School as well as West Career and Technical Academy. And at both schools, the students excitedly engaged in the curriculum because of the research and personal connections it offers. This class not only allows students to learn about the history of our republic and the changes that have occurred, but the importance of their own participation and civic duty. I have seen my students develop into well-educated young men and women that can't wait to vote And I've had so many parents tell me about the changes they have seen in their own children because of this class. They watch the news, they talk politics, and they want to make a difference. These students not only become familiar with the topic, but they also have a chance to show it off to an impressive panel of judges from our community. This builds character, self-esteem, and leads to powerful students who advocate for change, want to be involved, and even go on to pursue careers in a field that wasn't their main focus before taking this class. This class has absolutely changed my teaching focus, and it has no doubt changed each of my students' lives over the past few years. This is evident today, as many of my students are here today to support the program that has given them those lifelong skills. I am lucky enough to stay in touch with many of my alumni, and several have internships at the Capitol or are already in law school. This is a program and a class that should continue to expand because of the immense benefits it offers to everyone involved. Please consider this bill for approval. I appreciate your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. And Joyce Woodhouse for the record. And next is Richard Clark, teacher.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Finance Committee. My name is Richard Clark. I'm the Social Studies Department Chair and We the People teacher at Reno High School. It is my great honor and pleasure to endorse Senate Bill 193. In Thomas Jefferson's 1818 report to the Virginia legislature on the reasons for the University of Virginia, he wrote, "The object of this primary education would be to understand his duties to his neighbors and country, and to discharge with competence the function and confided in by either, to expound the principles and structure of government, the laws which regulate the intercourse of nations, those formed municipally for our own government, and a sound spirit of legislation." In a small part, SB 193 will continue Jefferson's philosophy on civic education. The money allocated will go towards professional development, particularly of elementary and middle school teachers. It is critical for our K-8 students to experience civic education while learning how to take informed action long before they turn 18. On a high school level, SB 193 will allow for the continuation of the competitive aspect of the We the People program to flourish. By providing training and resources, more teachers and more students, particularly in the rural areas, will be able to focus on the classroom, will be able to experience this incredible program. Additionally, teachers will be able to focus on the classroom and not fundraising for the district, state, and national competitions. As is evident by the positive energy in this room, the continuation of a strong, vibrant, and well-supported civic education program is wanted and needed by the students of this state. It has changed lives. It has created passions. It is the key to the success of our republic. President Jefferson knew this 100 years ago, and it may be even more important today. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce Woodhouse, for the record. And I'd also like to share with the committee that Mr. Clark has the 2018-19 Nevada State Championship team. So many, many congratulations to them. So next we're going to go to Mark Picker from the Nevada Center for Civic Education.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Mark Picker. I'm the co-president of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement, as well as the co-chair of the State Bar of Nevada's We the People Committee. I'm here in support of SB 193. I've been involved in the We the People program for about 15 years, and for the past 10 years I've coordinated the program for all the schools in northern Nevada. At every level, this program reaches many students who are new to the U.S. and to whose parents are new to the U.S. Often, the schools provide interpreters to help non-English speakers understand the students' testimonies. At the elementary school level, the students discuss concepts that include the common good and individual rights, the use of separation of powers and checks and balances to limit the powers of government, freedom of expression, and why it is important to our democracy. And one of the questions they always answer is, how does a responsible citizen promote the common good? That last point is the key component to the We the People program. It teaches what it takes to be a responsible and involved citizen. But even more importantly, it teaches that others have their own viewpoints, which are often different or in opposition. The program fosters independent thinking, coupled with the ability to find examples in history and in the law for support while also developing an ability to communicate those thoughts. The program teaches how to communicate with those who have different or contrasting views in a civil manner in order to further civic ideals. We refer to that as civic discourse, and I'm sure you would agree that that's something that's sorely lacking in our country today. We the People instills an appreciation for the rights and responsibilities we all have as U.S. citizens. One example of the effect of this program involves a student at Innovation High School in Reno. Innovation High School is kind of a last chance school for kids who have been in trouble or who have had life difficulties that make graduating from high school difficult. This student left school and left the state to engage in some less than legal activity. She returned after just a few days, resumed her classes, and actually graduated that year from high school. After graduation, she wrote her teacher telling him that what she had learned in the We the People program had caused her to stop her illegal activities and return to school. She had learned that she could build a better life within the parameters of the law and the Constitution. A second student, also from Innovation High School, was an 18-year-old mother of two. She had only just returned to high school. She took part in the We the People class and later told me when I was working with her that she was motivated to complete her high school education and get a diploma because she wanted her children to enjoy the rights she was learning that she understood she had as an active and responsible citizen in this country. SB193 will provide stable funding so that the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement can help students at all socioeconomic levels reach their potential and give them the tools to be responsible and active citizens. Providing stable funding will allow this program to continue to reach the underserved population of this state. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce Woodhouse, for the record. And now we'll go back to Las Vegas for Justice Kadish.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair and committee members. I am Nevada Supreme Court Justice Alyssa Kadish, and I'm here today as the co-chair of the Nevada State Bar's We the People Committee and a board member of the Nevada Center for Civic Engagement, speaking in favor of SB 193. I was also authorized by my colleagues, Chief Justice Mark Gibbons and Justice James Hardesty, to express their support for the bill as well. I have been involved with We the People for nearly 30 years now, since I first volunteered to judge in 1989. It is an amazing program for government and civics education. Rather than teaching the students to memorize facts and dates, the curriculum focuses on the thinking and principles behind the Constitution, so the students actually understand why and how this came to be our governing document. They learn to apply those principles to modern-day issues and current events, and they learn to think critically about these issues, developing their own informed opinions, which are based on principles and evidence, and they learn to express differences of opinion in a constructive way. Many of these students go on to pursue careers in law or government, but more importantly, each and every one of them leaves as an informed citizen with the skills and enthusiasm to be educated voters, jurors, and members of our community. With the elimination of federal funding for the program in 2011 and the State Bar's reduction in its financial support over the last few years, we have been working hard to find alternative sources of reliable funding to ensure that this program can continue. The funding called for by this bill would enable us to continue successfully running this program over the next biennium and ensure that this program continues to create an educated citizenry in the great state of Nevada. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Vice Chair and committee members, Joyce Woodhouse for the record. At this time, all of the presenters that you have heard from we stand ready to answer any questions you may have. So I might ask also that Ms. Dickinson come back to the table in case there's questions for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Woodhouse. I'd like to open it up. Committee members, questions for Chair Woodhouse or other members who have spoken? Yes, Senator Dennis, please.
I think you covered this at the beginning, but so the financial support, what will that, how many schools will be able to participate in?
Senator Dennis, thank you. This is Mark Picker for the record. Right now, we have more than 50 high schools throughout the state that do the program. We also have about 75 elementary schools in both Clark County, Washoe County, and in the rural counties. And we have only about, I think about 15 middle schools at this point. But those numbers are throughout the state. We do have participating schools in Churchill County, Lyon County. I believe that the Nye County, they use the curriculum as well. So it would enable us, that money would enable us not only to maintain the level of the program that we have now, but also reinvigorate being able to help funding for those schools, because the district for high school competitions are held in either Las Vegas or Reno. It would help us subsidize some of those schools for travel. We have trained teachers in Elko, but have been unable, because of the long distance, to have them participate in the program.
So does that mean, so does this give the opportunity to expand the program to other schools that currently don't have it?
It does. This is Mark Bicker again, for the record. Yes, Senator, it does. It allows us to keep the level that we have now and maintain it. And we've had some drop, actually, but to expand it to more of the state.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Vice Chair.
you, Senator Dennis. Further questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any. You indicated there were additional people who wish to speak? Oh,
Yes,
is it-
Joyce Woodhouse for the record. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. There are a number, particularly students that I know of here in Carson City as well in Las Vegas, that would like to take a few minutes each and tell you why they believe it's important that this program continue. So I'll step back and let them come forward.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go to Las Vegas. I believe we have a Michael Jaddy and a Lauren Anton and maybe a Michaela Wong. Please proceed.
Hi. Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Peter Grema, and I'm an alumni of the We the People program. 3 weeks ago, our nation celebrated 230 years since the beginning of our constitutional government's operation. And since 1987, more than 30 million students have participated in the We the People program, which brings to life the Constitution in an interactive course designed for elementary, middle, and high school students. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my support of Senate Bill 193, which seeks to provide $175,000 in funding over the next 2 years for the We the People, the Citizen, and the Constitution program. As an alumni of the program, I have unique insight. I can describe both its immediate benefits and how it has helped me thus far as a first-year student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Today, I'm going to testify as to what I learned from the program and how the program has helped me after high school. Last year, I participated in the We the People program at West Career and Technical Academy, and not only did the program teach me about the foundations of our government and prepare me for competition, but I was also more prepared for the Advanced Placement Government exam and saw a notable increase in the quality of my writing. I also developed research and team working skills and discovered a newfound sense of patriotism. Today, as a UNLV student, my experience with We the People has helped me excel in public speaking classes and has transitioned into public policy research, even though I'm currently a business student. And without We the People, I wouldn't have the courage to stand before you and testify today. In closing, We the People is an amazing experience, and I feel that it's prepared me for more than just an exam. It has prepared me for a life of civic engagement. With the passage of Senate Bill 193, We the People continue to prepare Nevada students for the challenges and opportunities in preserving our U.S. Constitution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that presentation. Next speaker in Las Vegas, please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee. My name is Lauren Anton, and I am here representing West Career and Technical Academy's We the People organization. I support Bill 193 because doing so supports the future of active civic engagement in our community. This program has taught me many things, the most important being how to argue academically and hold my own in a conversation amongst adults. I feel truly intelligent about my country and its political issues because of We the People. This program has even inspired my career choice, as I will be pursuing a political science major when I begin college this fall.
Defunding this program would be detrimental to inspiring future generations to participate in our government, which is an issue we cannot afford to risk. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I see we have two more speakers in Las Vegas, so let's continue. Please proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Blake Eckler from Anthony Seville Middle School, and I am here in support of Senate Bill 193, We the People Congressional Hearing. In this program, we learned about the various types of freedoms, such as freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press. We also learned different aspects of government.
Hi, I'm Michaela Wong, also from Anthony Seville Middle School, and on top of learning about the U.S. government and U.S. Constitution, we got to learn teamwork building skills that will help in all students' future. Any program or presentation can provide these skills to students, but this program specifically gives live scenarios that all students can benefit from.
Relating to what Michaela said about teamwork, my group learned that if one or two people didn't fully fulfill their part of their presentation or they slacked off, then the whole thing fell apart or was not as good as it could have been. So through the We the People program, my team learned that teamwork is everything, and it's a very valuable skill to have in the future.
Thank you to the program.
Okay. Please proceed. I'm sorry.
Thank you to the program. Students will be able to carry along in the future about the U.S. history. Any students, such as I or Blake, may be able to become the U.S. President of the United States when they do to this program. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a third speaker in Las Vegas. We'll take that speaker, and then we'll come back here to Carson City. Please proceed.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Elisa Martinez, and I am in 8th grade at Cadwalader Middle School. Before I go to school today, I am here to testify in full support of SB 193 on behalf of my friends and future leaders of this country. In 2015, I met Senator Cancela and shared my wish for more civic engagement classes in my school. She advised me to talk to my principal about it. Thanks to her advice, I talked to my principal about it, and my school added We the People as an elective. It was a dream come true for me and many other friends. This class gave us the opportunity to learn about our government laws, and it provided a space for many others like me who dream of becoming senators like Senator Cancela and bring change and represent our communities. Due to budget cuts, my class was cut just a few weeks later. We never got the chance to visit City Hall, offices of elected officials like we have planned in our class. Our teacher encouraged us to never give up. Me and my classmates felt left out because despite meeting with our principal and collecting signatures from classmates, we were not able to save our class. My friends come to me when they want to start a petition or complaint about the school, like they recently cut our choir program in the middle of the school. They see me as a leader because of my mom. She is the director for Mi Familia Vota. I have access to meet elected officials. All students should be leaders, and classes like We the People help us become one. It is important that students learn the importance of being civically engaged as you are educating voters, bettering citizens, and future leaders. One day, I will become the President of the United States, and I will make sure learning about the government, laws, and history is not an option for students. In the meantime, our future lays in your hands. Please support SB 193.
Thank you for that testimony. Okay, coming back here to Carson City, we have three speakers. Anyone wish to lead off?
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair. My name is Ian Sturtz. I'm a senior at Robert McQueen High School, and I'm in support of SB 193. To differ from some of my colleagues, I wish to demonstrate why this class is helpful by telling a quick story. About a year ago, I was invited on a trip that my school was putting together to be a part of an exchange program with the Bundesrealgymnasium, which was a high school in Austria, a town called Weidhofen an der Ybbs. I was fortunate enough to be paired with a very intelligent girl named Amelie Hochleitner, and in one of our first conversations, she asked me about my country. Of course, I knew what I had learned in history class, the Revolutionary War, westward expansion, the land of the free, the home of the brave, etc. But although I'd gone through over a decade of education, including being part of several honors and AP level classes, I was unable to answer some of the specific questions that she asked, and even the super broad question that she asked of, how does your government work? I had absolutely no clue. And it turns out most Americans don't know the answer to that question. Almost no one knows about the Ninth Amendment to the Constitution, which literally gives citizens access to uncountable amounts of rights. For those who don't know, it gives us access to rights that aren't explicitly listed in the Constitution. This is why we need classes like We the People, classes in which the curriculum doesn't just come out of a textbook. One that involves group discussions, fun and engaging competitions, things that will make even the most obscure parts of the government memorable and practical. I believe that this class is worth the investment because these are things that everyone in our country, especially the youth that have the power to perfect it, needs to know. Because of this, I urge your support. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mandy McKenzie. I'm a senior over at Robert McQueen High School, and I am in favor of SB193. Not only is this class that it goes into depth within the Constitution and how and why everything in our government works, it is also an inspiration to many students to be involved in their government. It gives them a voice. Within our class setting, you have a safe space to be able to share your opinion and your voice with other students in a civil manner, and you're able to learn different ways in how to express your ideas and your opinions. Also, we are able to be involved within our community. We are working on an informed action project within our class right now, in which we go out into our community and we make a difference. This inspires many students, and without this class, I would not have been able to have this opportunity to sit before you today and to ask to fund this program. This program has inspired me to be involved within my community and my government and to pursue law. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Mr. Vice Chairman, my name is Ariadna Carmona. I'm a student at McQueen High School, and I'm in support of SB193. We the People is not your traditional government class where you show up to class, take notes, go home, read a chapter out of the textbook, and get ready for a quiz based on what you read the night before. This class allows you to understand what you are learning in class and apply it to real-life situations. This class allows interactions with my classmates and my community that I have never had in any other high school class. Of course, you get to have some debates with classmates who have complete opposite opinions and views that you have. But we listen to each other and all our different views. We have learned about landmark court cases that I didn't even know existed, like Roe versus Wade, where the Supreme Court discussed the constitutionality of laws that made it harder to get abortions. With this being such a small class, it is a lot easier to understand and follow along with what exactly is being taught. It doesn't matter how you learn, because this class makes sure that your learning needs are met, and to further understand the supreme law of the land. Whether you learn by reading out of the textbook, which, by the way, is yours to keep and you can write in it and take all the notes you want in it, or in-class discussions where everyone participates and shares their views on controversial topics, you are always learning. For me, social studies has always been a difficult subject. But the way this class is ran, it lets me understand the country, how it runs, who is in charge of what, and where it all came from. It is all making sense. I want those kids who struggle like me to understand what the Constitution is really about and start to understand more of the country that we live in. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I believe I want to commend McQueen High School as well as West Career and Technical Academy and Seville Middle School for putting on presentation this morning. Thank you very much. I believe that we have some students here and as in groups. Okay, we'll start with good morning.
Mr. Vice Chair, my name is Milton Hyams. I'm a teacher at Incline High School. I've taught the We the People program for 23 years, and I'm also an alumni of the We the People program. In order to help expedite the rest of the speakers that were lined up, I wanted to just point out those individuals that are here, and I think we're going to try to help move on here. Everybody that is an alumni of the We the People program, please raise your hand. Current students of the We the People program, and additional support for the We the People program. After having taught the program for 23 years and been impacted by it personally in 1987, there's not a better use of our funds to support students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that presentation. I guess next speaker.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, for the record, Doug Goodman. I'm founder, executive director of Nevadans for Election Reform. I am also a member of the Secretary of State's Advisory Committee on Participatory Democracy, but I am not speaking for the committee. I think you have seen and heard the reason and the benefits for this program. This is a small appropriation that has major benefits, not only for our state, but for our cities and counties and our nation, and I hope you'll agree. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Paul Mattioni. I come before you today as the incoming president of the State Bar of Nevada. Our executive committee and the Board of Governors, along with the Supreme Court that you heard from Justice Kadish, have been longtime supporters of the We the People program. Along with Mr. Picker and Justice Kadish, they sit on as co-chairmen of the We the People program for the State Bar of Nevada. We'll continue to support that program. I know that through our many meetings leading up to this hearing, we've talked about our ongoing ability to support advertising, support their need for judges, for their competition, to handle many of the matters that our State Bar has some staff to assist their program with. So on behalf of the State Bar of Nevada, it's very important the committee realizes that we're 100% behind SB 193, and we ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mattioni. Appreciate it. Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Annie McKay. I'm here in front of the committee as an individual, as a proud alumnus of the We the People program, volunteer judge, as well as a board member of the Center for Civic Engagement. In short, I would wholeheartedly, respectfully request that the committee consider and approve this bill. As you can tell by the young individuals that have presented both in Carson City and Las Vegas, this program is literally life-changing. And this will enable us to not only maintain but expand the program, as referenced by Senator Dennis earlier in his questioning. But I wholeheartedly support this program, proud alumnus again, and hopefully you guys will agree with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. Appreciate it. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Vice Chairman and committee members. My name is Bo Oster, and I'm a senior at Reno High School in the We the People program at this moment. On behalf of the We the People program, I would like to share how this program has affected me personally. When I began this program, my understanding about the importance of issues surrounding our government was dismal. This program has taught me the importance of judicial and institutional disputes and their effects on our democratic republic. It gave me the tools to understand and make deeper connections between the consequences and effects of major issues in our country. Without this program, I would not be able to fully understand today's political climate, and more importantly, my role as a citizen in society. Funding towards this program will ensure the youth of tomorrow understand their civic duties in society. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oster.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
How are you, Vice Chair Parks? My name is Nathan Anderson. I'm the president of the Washoe Education Association, and I'm just also bringing forward our support of this very important bill with SB 193. The investment in professional development is always appreciated, and I think all the positives have already been celebrated by our students. So I'd rather give that time for our students to be able to continue that celebration. I ask for your support of SB 193. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Finance Committee. My name is Mira Kosla, and I am currently a member of We the People. I've always had very strong views when it came to politics and social issues, but through We the People, I have a deeper understanding of many of today's issues. I've gained many invaluable skills. I know how to properly do research and that there are multiple sides to every story. I can also discuss issues of today with people that have many different views and backgrounds than I do. The most important lesson that I have learned is that every person has their own opinions and views, but that is what makes our government and country so amazing, and it does not have to be what keeps it so divided. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the Finance Committee.
My name is Michaela Schultz, and I am in We the People. There is a necessity for civic classes that inform and teach each generation. My background would make me the unlikely person to be speaking here today. I took 7 years of speech therapy and felt the weight of a silenced voice. Now this class has given me the ability to use my voice to engage in civic discourse. We the People is individuals from different walks of life, listening to each other and finding the best solutions to issues. The next generation must be educated in civic discourse and provide a voice to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee. My name is Julie Cardinale. I'm a senior at Reno High School, and I'm in support of Senate Bill 193. In less than a year, We the People has taught me more than any other class. It taught me how to be quick on my feet, how to truly work with the team, and how to speak publicly. But most importantly, We the People has shown me how much one average citizen can impact legislation. Before We the People, I would have never thought of this building as the people's building. Understanding government is the key to a successful republic. Civic education breeds civic engagement. Without We the People, I could have achieved none of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cardinale.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee. My name is Riley Hogan, and I am from Reno High School, and I am in support of SB 193. The We the People program has caused me to fall in love with Congress and the legislative process. Before I entered this class, I had absolutely no idea how our laws were created and enforced. In speaking to you today and participating in this process, I have never felt more connected to our government. When I am of age, I plan to run for the Nevada State Assembly and eventually compete for a seat in the House of Representatives. We the People has shown me the importance of lawmakers who actually care about and work toward making comprehensive legislation, and I want to be one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hogan. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll go to Las Vegas, and we have 2 speakers down there. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee. My name is Adam Esrig. I am a senior at West Career and Technical Academy in the We the People program. As we've seen today, there is unlimited benefits to this program, and just going off of personal experience, going into We the People, I met 2 people that were in my specific unit, Unit 3, talking about the fundamentals of change within American government, and we came from different backgrounds, different religious backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds, and all of this has contributed to an immense respect I have not only for the people of our nation, but for our government leaders and for all the people of our nation. And it is essential that this program is funded because it provides an educated body of students and incoming members of society that are essential to its continuation. And I fully support SB 193. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Estrick. We have another speaker in Las Vegas.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Parker Samuelson from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am with West Career and Technical Academy's section of We the People. I support SB 193 because We the People supports the culture and retention of our youth in Nevada. We often contemplate the lack of students that stay in Nevada, and this program is one that will bring us our next senators, mayors, activists, and congresspeople. We must not cut the funding on something so vital for the future of Nevada. If we want to keep our youth, we must provide them with the resources they desire. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I see we have one more speaker in Las Vegas. Would you like to proceed?
Good morning. My name is Saha Salahi, and I'm in favor of SB 193. Growing up as a Muslim American, I was always told to keep my head down because of the dangers of people's views were against my beliefs. This class has given me a sense of identity and understanding of my equal opportunities, and I wouldn't change that for the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Okay, coming back here to Carson City. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the committee. My name is Georgia Leland, and I'm a senior at Reno High School, currently participating in the We the People program. I walked into this class not knowing much about our government, and now another side of me has been awakened that I was oblivious to until now. I've become so passionate about things I didn't even know about 6 months ago, and it's so meaningful because we do not just learn, but we use that knowledge. Raising nearly $80,000 in 2 months is close to impossible, and our teacher already sacrifices enough just preparing us. So please fund SB 193 because it's important to our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leland, for that. Okay. I don't see anyone else coming forward, although there were several names on the list I have. Andrew Tran. Okay. Not here. Okay. And Chloe Kenners. Okay. All right. Okay. In that case, I'm going to ask the sponsor of the bill if she'd like to come forward and make any concluding remarks. Oh. I'm sorry. I guess I needed to, I didn't figure there'd be any opposition. Okay. How could there be opposition? I'm sorry. My apologies. Okay. Okay. Is there anyone who wishes to oppose Senate Bill 193? Okay. And finally, I'm embarrassed. Okay. And finally, is there anyone who would like to put anything on the record in the neutral position on Senate Bill 193? Okay. I'm not seeing any. Okay. Now we can have Chair Woodhouse provide concluding remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair and committee members. I encourage your support of Senate Bill 193. I don't think any remarks that I can say at this point has any measure to what our students and our teachers have said today. They have truly told you the story of why We the People is important. This is an opportunity for the state of Nevada to support our young people as informed and educated citizens. They have shown that to you today, and there's scores of other students that couldn't be here that would tell you the same thing. And I want to thank all of them, all of the students, teachers, their parents who came out today on a Monday morning during spring break to share their passion for this program. And also I want to wish best wishes to the Reno High School Nevada State champions as they go to the national competition within the next few weeks. So they are busy preparing for that competition, and I thank them especially for being here today. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Chair Woodhouse, on that. So we'll go ahead and close the hearing on Senate